Changes International, changing lives for the better. Our vision is to be a transformative platform that exposes lies and reveals the truth. Mind Changes International, we on a mission, masking the falsehoods with every new edition. We're here to enlighten your mind with this vibration, expose the lies, speaking truth, normal conversations. Mind Changes International, we on a mission.
Welcome to Mind Changes Podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Lamar Blakeney. Listen, we got an exciting episode. Today, we're going to dive into the recent legal troubles surrounding Sean Puffy Diddy Combs. As of September 24th, a lot of people done seen it. He is facing some serious charges. So let's break this thing down.
Oh yeah. Hey everybody, my name is Sean Atkinson, better known as Riz. And before we get started, I just want to put this out here. Pretty soon we're going to be pushing on to YouTube. We're going to be leaving the Facebook platform, and we just ask that everybody starts going to YouTube and finding Mind Changer Podcast. That is Mind Changer Podcast. And subscribe, like it. Hit that little bell up there in the corner so you can get those notifications every time we go live with a new podcast. So that is going to help us grow. That's going to help us monetize what we're doing so that we continue to put money back into what we're doing and bring you a awesome product, because that's, at the end of the day, we want to bring you guys an awesome product. Without further ado, I'd like to introduce our third host, and that is Cornelius. What's going on, Cornelius?
Yo, what's up? What's up?
What's the deal, my brother?
Everything is kosher.
All right. Listen, I'm telling y'all, this has been a crazy week for P. Diddy, Love, Sean Puffy Combs, whatever this man call himself. Now, here's a disclaimer. We are not here to say this man is guilty. That's what we're not here to do. But we are here to talk about what's going on.
Yeah.
So listen,
Absolutely.
fellas, have you guys looked into all of this controversy surrounding P. Diddy Combs?
Definitely, man. I mean, it's pretty bad. I mean, they're racketeering, criminal activity, sex trafficking, weapons charges, tax evasion. I mean, the list goes on and on and on, man. It's just crazy.
Yeah. So, first off, Diddy has been denied bail, right?
Yes.
And he is currently in a federal jail. They don't call it prison yet, but he's in federal custody. And here's the thing. He's in one of the worst federal detention centers in the world. So I know the brother want out. I mean, when you used to filet mignon and, you got housekeepers and you can go as you want to go. It's amazing how when these things are taken away, it really, really affects us. So this is how we're going to start this conversation off. First of all, let's talk about what has happened, the process, right? So he pleaded not guilty to some heavy accusations, and that's what we're going to call heavy accusations: racketeering, conspiracy, and sex trafficking. Now, if y'all don't know what racketeering is, listen, it's when you have the funds and the resources to create a group or an association to where you fund criminal activity, right?
Or better known as a criminal enterprise.
Now, Cornelius and Sean, these are some serious accusations, and they stem from the federal indictments claiming that he was running what officials describe as, Sean just said, a criminal enterprise through his business activities. So I'm going to ask you guys, what does that mean exactly?
What you got, Cornelius?
It's some heavy accusations. So allegedly, it's like you running a serial through. It's like you run a series of different charges are coming through his, like he's running and covering it up through his business.
Yeah.
And he's not the first to do that. He had to learn that from somewhere.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah, he had to learn it from
Yeah,
somewhere.
definitely. Yeah, I mean, whenever you have, I mean, he's been around a long time. He has put together tons and tons of different investments, and when you start looking at all these charges, it looks like that a lot of these investments allegedly are there to launder a lot of criminal monies that might be coming through.
Yeah. And the crazy thing, now, they're saying he's been involved with a range of illegal activities: sex trafficking, forced labor, even obstruction of justice. And I'm going to tell you, that's serious. So these are not light accusations at all. And they paint a very concerning picture of his operations.
Right.
It's serious. I mean,
It is serious. It is serious.
Hollywood is about to go down because he's been doing this for 10 years, right?
Right.
10 years. They have video. That's what
They do.
the DA said. He has video. They have video. So
Right.
I'm from the hood. The worst thing in the world if the feds knock on your door. When they knock on your door, they don't misfire. They don't.
Right.
They coming for you. They will let you live a good life for 10 years and have an indictment sitting in the corner.
Right.
You done got saved. You done found Jesus. You're not selling drugs no more. You're not doing what you're doing. And they come knocking at your door. And the reason being, they always get their man.
Okay.
They don't play. And so
Right.
with these accusations, with these indictments, let's say it what it is, this man's life is never going to be the same. Now, I'm not saying he did it, but he ain't getting out of it. Only one or two ways: by death or by sentence. This brother, if he did these parties, I mean, Sean, they found 1,000 barrels of baby oil.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
That's a lot of
if you
cooking
just-
some chicken.
Dude, man, boy. I mean, if you just look at the accusations of the freak offs, is that, I think that's what they call
That's
them.
what they call them, freak
offs.
That's what they call.
It was. I'm gonna put it to you this way: I could not possibly imagine that kind of fantasy if I tried. As far as the way that these things were put together, they were flying people in from all over the country, all over the world. They were bringing in women from all over the world. They had an entire enterprise and an agency that was putting these parties together and finding the hotels to have them at. They had workers, they had cleaning staff, carpenters, all that stuff to clean and repair the hotels that they go to minimize the hotel damage so that they don't get in trouble. They were bringing in doctors to give IVs to the women who were overexerted during these parties, giving them drugs so that they could continue to go through the night, through the days, however long that they would take
Out of
place.
their minds.
I mean, they were. They had a place where they had all the supplies they need with the different toys and the different lubricants, and it was like it was the most well put together sexual enterprise I think I've ever seen in my entire, or even heard of in my entire life.
So let me tell you
Sex
this.
fest.
It was Sodom and Gomorrah at its worst.
It was crazy, man.
And I feel sorry for them babies. I call anybody younger than me, female, under 45, babies. His neighbor in Florida said buses would pull up. Females would get out. Man, you think about it. If you put a female on ecstasy, one of those drugs, her sexual senses is so ignited that she'll do anything. And
Yeah,
I'm gonna tell you, there are some Hollywood figures because Puffy don't have parties without famous people. Now,
Oh yeah.
some folks were smart enough to leave, right?
Right. Right.
Like a Kevin
Right.
Hart, like you said, Sean. Kevin Hart said
Yeah.
folk didn't know when he left.
Yeah.
So
Denzel Washington, he'd roll out.
Denzel said after 12 o'clock, the party over. So what you just said, Sean, paints a grim picture of a monster.
Yeah.
Anybody who would maliciously lure a female to a party and not give her the whole outcome and then get her on drugs for 2 to 3 days of
Yes.
sex
Yes.
with
Well, look.
different people.
Yeah, well, check this out. I mean, I would imagine that was the way it played out in the beginning of these parties, where people were didn't have a clue what was going on. But as the years went, and the people talked, and everybody knew what took place at these parties, I guess at that level, we all didn't know until probably within the last couple of years, or maybe the last year. Then it became one of them situations to where how do you continue to supply these parties with just hosts and hosts of women? And we're also hearing men, because men were used also as sexual toys. So how do you supply these parties? Then you start getting deeper and deeper into the sex trade, where you've got unwanting people that are not people that have gone missing. I mean, did it get that crazy? Were we bringing in people that have been kidnapped and forced into the sex trade?
Yeah.
We need to look into all that. I need them to get to the bottom of that, because you have the one end where everybody was willing. You know what I'm saying? If everybody's willing, then it's not illegal. If it's not illegal because everybody's consenting and they want to do it, even though it's immorally wrong, they still have the choice to do it. But when you start talking about forcing women and young men into these parties, man, they got to get to the bottom of that.
Yeah. And he also said that he brought in male prostitutes and forced the women. Cassie Ventura, she said that he would lend her to the prostitutes and watch. This was his girlfriend, right? I was going to play the video, but I'm not going to play something showing this young lady getting demoralized. I'm not going to do that. So I didn't play it. So we're just going to talk about it. And see, and that's why the prosecutors have presented some compelling arguments against Diddy's release. They said he has a history of reaching out to victims, right? Which raises significant concerns about potential tampering and intimidation. That's what he does allegedly. I don't know this man, but that's what they saying. Then he blew up a guy's car. That's why that's where the arson came in. He blew up a guy's car.
And that's not alleged. That actually happened, people.
Yeah, that happened. So, and so the prosecutor, when he was talking the other day, they brought in evidence, hotel surveillance from 2016 that shows him assaulting Miss Ventura, right? So this kind of evidence can be quite damaging in court when you're trying.
You just
to
can't
get
walk
out.
away from that.
No.
Right?
You just cannot walk away from that.
And not to mention, he has literally handed over his $35 million estate. He has handed over his mother's estate. He's handed over his passport. He's handed over all his children's passport, his mother's passport. He has told them that he would leave the plane in California and he will either stay in Florida or New York, wherever they want him to stay, just in order to get bail. And that judge said, nope, you're staying in here until this court case.
That's right.
So he is, and I think the biggest thing was because they feel he's a flight risk. He's a billionaire, so they feel that he's a flight risk. He has the resources to get out of the country. And not only that, what you just said, Lamar, reaching out to victims, they want to make sure that the victims are protected.
And so on the defense side, Diddy's legal team, they presented the $50 million bond along with the option for, the home arrest detention, like you were saying, Sean. And so the court rejected that, just like Sean says, he has a history of intimidation. Now, check this out, fellas. This is why I say Hollywood is going down, right? There are
Okay.
so many who were in these Diddy parties or these freak offs that they call, and they got video. What
They do.
idiot
They do.
commits a crime and video it? Now, I'm gonna tell you, in the hood, the first thing they should say, don't leave any witnesses. Now, for me,
Okay.
they meant murder, right?
Right.
But for how I took it, if I'm committing a crime, I'm doing it by myself.
Okay.
No
You ain't
video
gonna
and
know
no
I did it.
photos.
Ain't nobody gonna know I did it because that's a witness. That's a witness. And so
That's
as it's
undeniable.
undeniable. And so, man, it's, I can't feel bad for him because
Right.
this dude was a billionaire. Can wake up in any country he wanted. But he chose his elixir to be sex. Now, a lot of people don't know this. When you look at the movie American Gangster, Sean brought this to my attention. P. Diddy was there when the man got shot in his head. Sean can tell you a little more about it than I can.
Yeah, during that scene where they were in the diner and he walked out to confront that other gangster, and he pulled the pew pew out and put it to his head, and he told him, "Yeah, you're not going to do nothing." And then when he executed him right there on the street, P. Diddy's father actually hung out with that gang, and P. Diddy was actually in the neighborhood. He was a kid playing in that neighborhood when that man was executed. So he saw the whole thing.
Yeah, and some new news came out. Diddy's defense is appealing the court's decision on the bail, and so he continues to assert his innocence throughout, the process. But it's a complex situation when the feds
much
get
so.
involved.
Yes, it is. It
So
is.
Cornelius,
I heard this. Yeah.
tell us what type of information you came across. They came across your phone like mine's.
The indictment in and of itself was a shock. Because he, like you said, man, he had everything, could go to any country he wanted to, could stay as long as he wanted to, could wake up Monday, be like, you know what, I think I'm going to go back home on Friday.
Right.
And now that's all changed.
Yeah, it is definitely all changed. It's definitely all changed. Well, I know, Lamar, you were talking about why would somebody video something like this? Why would somebody be so open with it? And I had some time to think about it, and the way I view this whole situation is when you are so morally bankrupt. When you're so morally bankrupt, this doesn't actually. They don't view this as a crime. They view this as a currency. This is almost a way you pay somebody who is so morally bankrupt. And that's how it looks like that's how the power structure works, because you have R. Kelly. I mean, let's just look at R. Kelly. It looked like his currency was young girls. His currency was making sex slaves. And then you have Weinstein, who was doing the same thing. His currency to pay his moral bankrupt self was the same thing. I mean, just completely taking over women and raping them and having his way with them. I mean, you go on and on and on. And it always seems like it always takes place with the powerful. The powerful seem to use this as a currency. It's like a dollar to them. And then you start bringing in other people, other powerful people come in, and they enjoy that same currency. So it's almost, to me, it seems like that was a bank for morally bankrupt individuals to come and just continue to be even more morally bankrupt.
Yeah, and you said something about R. Kelly, and I wanna go to that. Do y'all mind?
Yeah,
Okay.
go for it.
No, go ahead.
Now, in the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly, right? People saw victims. I didn't. Now, hear me. Don't persecute me until you hear what I gotta say. I saw witness tampering. I saw. That's not what I want to say. I saw people who are accessories, because if you had knowledge that a child was being touched by a predator and you did not do anything, you waited for 15 to 20 years until you get paid to talk about it. That's accessory after the facts. You should be locked up as well. Every last person on that surviving R. Kelly should be going to jail because they witnessed something and they remained silent.
They did.
So now they're going to do to the people who was part of those parties with Diddy, and they're going to arrest them. Well, what about them other folks on the R. Kelly side?
This is going to open up a whole lot.
Man, let me tell you, Hollywood, if there's some scared people right now, they're in a house waiting for a U.S. Marshal to knock on the door. No, not the U.S. Marshal, the Fed, Homeland Security, or whomever, because I ain't that well versed about who's going to be talking to them. But somebody is coming.
Right.
They're peeping through the blinds, looking at the slow moving white Ford Taurus that goes down the street and the black SUV that turns around and comes back.
Yeah. So if you hear about racketeering, which, you know, is in relationship to the RICO Act, any of y'all familiar with the RICO Act?
Yeah. Rudy Giuliani brought that up back in the, what was it, early 80s when he was going after the mob?
Which stands for Racketeering, Influence, and Corrupt Organization Act. This law was designed to target organizations specifically who finance their crimes. Right? So now, if it was you, me, if somebody get caught or found guilty of racketeering, what kind of punishment can they expect? The penalties can vary.
They can be really hefty because
20 years.
And if you think about it, in his case, he was not only using his own dollar, he was using the corporate dollar. I mean, he was using corporations that were sponsoring him. I mean, it could be going that deep, where corporations were funding this, and they may not even realize. I hope they didn't realize they were funding something like this.
Yeah. So, I mean, racketeering charge is going to give you 20 years in prison for each count. Listen, it don't run congruently for each count of racketeering. If it's 2 counts, 40 years. 3 counts, 60 years. 4 counts, 80 years.
Well, let me ask you guys. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you, Cornelius. I want you to think about this for a second.
Okay.
Hollywood over the years has been rocked with scandals like this from time to time, and it seems like they always seem to weather it really well. I mean, do you really think Hollywood is worried about this? Because it seems like there's always a contingency to make sure that the avalanche doesn't come, to where it's just a few people here or there that have to take the hit. I mean, where we had what was the guy's? Help me out, guy. What was that guy that they killed in the? Thank you, Epstein. I mean, that should have been the one that made politicians in Hollywood and all that stuff shaking their boots. But the contingency was that he mysteriously died in a cell. So, I mean, Cornelius, do you think Hollywood is truly worried about this?
Honestly, I don't, because the rich and powerful has always had the upper hand when it comes to being able to afford the highest and the highest echelon of attorneys. So I really don't think there's that much fallout. It would be way different if it was you and I.
Oh, it was, no. Money don't help you in federal. Nah. See, in federal court, you just as broke as me and you.
Okay.
Because they get their man. Listen, they don't play. They come with pure evidence, no speculation.
All right.
When they come get you, I promise you, if federal agent knock on my door, just say, Lamar gone, because I'm out of here.
Well, Lamar, let me ask you a question. Okay. Now, in this world where, and I've used the word today, I probably beat the word to death. In this world that is morally bankrupt, that would probably love to have been invited to a freak off. Do you think in the public image side of it that people will really, really care about this?
Oh yes, they do, because Sean, somebody has some serious trauma from this situation. Young girls who couldn't even talk about it. How can they go and tell somebody, I went to a freak off and slept with 30 men?
I got you.
And people were talking about the Freaknik videos that were coming out.
Yeah, I mean, and do you know the amount of diseases that has been transferred? And you know what? I don't personally want to think about it, but
that's somebody's daughter.
That's somebody's daughter, man.
I agree.
Was so excited to be around Puff Daddy, P. Diddy Love, whatever name he called himself, you know, and then get mistreated and a sex slave for 2 to 3 days.
Yeah,
that's a hefty price to pay to say you met him.
That's true. That is true.
Say that again, Cornelius.
Okay.
That is a hefty price to pay to say you met him.
That's right.
Listen, I guarantee you right now. Listen.
Allegedly.
If he walked by somebody today and he was out, girls be like Ray Charles. You know what? I don't see P. Diddy. I don't see that Negro. You just go ahead on P. Diddy.
I know that's right. That's crazy.
Oh,
that's crazy.
So, you know, it's a lot going on. Look, I got people texting me right now while I'm on the phone saying we need to get deeper in this conversation.
Okay.
So I'm gonna text them back. I'm gonna text them back right here live.
Tell them shoot you some questions. Let's dive.
Oh man, I like that. I like that when somebody is watching our show right now, instead of putting comments in that, they texting me, and that's cool.
You go.
That means that people are paying attention. So
absolutely,
we wanted to talk about this P. Diddy situation in America because this is a prime example of the abuse of power. Sean and I was talking about money a couple of days ago. Sean said that money was evil. Am I correct me if I'm wrong, Sean?
I did. I did. It's evil.
Sean said that money was evil.
I disagree.
It's got horns all over it, man.
I disagree. Here's what I say about that. Here's how.
Go ahead, Cornelius.
It's not that money is evil. Money is a magnifier.
It is. It is.
Money can only magnify what is currently present.
True.
It's either in you or it's not. You know, I look at money as a dead thing, but it's a dead thing that has governmental power. It has economic power, but it doesn't have legs. It don't have arms. It don't have anything. But in the hand of the wrong person, it becomes
deadly.
No, money don't becomes deadly. That person becomes deadly. Because now they can create an enterprise with that funding. Just like they did slavery and all the other things in America. I mean, let's just throw it on the table. Because that's what P. Diddy was doing. He had a sex slave camp. A sex slave camp.
That's right. Well, the way I view money, and as I was talking to Lamar earlier, and I called it evil. I gave money an entity. I gave it that it was its own being. And the reason why I did that was because I've seen countless amount of situations to where people start out with nothing, and they seem to be great people, great whatever industry they're in, whatever, whether they're preachers or pastors or actors or musicians or singers or whatever, or CEOs, we always see the money change that person as they go. We've seen so many instances where, just for TD Jakes in that matter, where he has been in the news. He possibly, allegedly, could have been at these freak offs, and I don't believe that he started out that way. I really, truly, genuinely believe that he was a great man of God that had the greatest intentions and everything. But then as he gained the wealth, then that's when all the accusations came. Now, granted, the accusations could have come as a personal attack. It could have been all a lie. I agree. It could have been a lie. But if it was not, and we've seen instances where it was not with other individuals, you saw people go from being great people and the money turned them into monsters. And that's why I called money evil.
Yeah. Now, check this out. We're going to go back to P. Diddy, right?
Yeah, let's get on back to him.
P. Diddy is a smart dude.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Can't take that away from him, right?
No,
he's a
very
smart dude. And
you
this
don't
is
become
why
a billionaire by accident.
he had to put up those houses because his money ain't in the United States.
Right.
He could have easily said, hey, go to the bank, give him $50 million. No. His money is in places where U.S. can't touch.
Right.
He knew this was coming.
Right.
He knew it was coming. His lawyer says he has been cooperating. He was turning himself in. That's why he was in New York. But they rolled up on him, and he found himself like, oh, I'm here to turn myself in. Why y'all rolling up on me? Because they knew they could not risk him leaving. So now, what does life look like for the bad boy? See, this is the fall of a bad boy.
Even
Make you
after
think.
the charges, yeah.
And we could talk about some other stuff, but it's not the source of this conversation. But when I think about how Biggie was killed, something ain't right about that. And I'm going to leave that right there. Something ain't right about that. He was leaving Bad Boy. Something's not right about that. If you know what, I'm not going to bring that up. Y'all know me. I go against the grass. And then people are like, well, Malamar said
No. No. Let's explore that. No, I mean, we can explore that in a respectful way, because for the sake of the matter is, it's not just Biggie. I mean, it was Kim Porter. Kim Porter died. She died of mysterious things. You had Heavy D died of mysterious things. I mean, you had what's his name? The light-skinned brother, sing real good. What was his name? Albie Shore. You had Albie Shore that
Almost
died. He almost died. I mean, and those. I mean, you had, and then you had Andre Harrell. He died of mysterious things. So let's put it all together. You had Andre Harrell. You had Kim Porter. You had Albie Shore. You had Heavy D. These are four.
Black Rob.
These are actually the four of creators of that movement, of that bad boy movement. They were the creators of it, and they all died under mysterious circumstances.
Craig Mack, Black
Mack,
Rob.
Yeah.
Just.
Yeah. So yeah, you cannot ignore that. Now that we know what we know about this whole situation, you cannot ignore that. That is something that they have to look at. They've definitely got to look at.
Yeah. So life for him it's basically over. I mean, now, if Hollywood have a lot of people who are in this, it's dangerous for his children. Because if he turned evidence, let me tell you something.
Yeah.
The worst thing in the world is a scared person. They will make decisions they normally would not make for freedom. When you in between somebody's freedom, oh man, that's bad, because they are desperate and they'll do whatever they need to do to get out of this. And right now, Cassie she opened up Pandora's box for P. Diddy and the way he treated that lady. Because I knew something was bad when she comes out, and I'm just using this time as a reference, at 10 o'clock, I'm suing you for $30 million. And 10:30, she getting the $30 million. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
So,
that went quick.
Listen,
man. That definitely went quick.
That's the quickest settlement in the history of civil suits.
Yeah, it was pretty quick.
It did. Listen, he like, don't call no attorney, don't call no lawyer, give her the $30 million. Because he knew she had something. Hurt people.
That's
He
right.
knew she may have had enough bullets.
Oh, she had an AK-47.
Yeah.
And she
And
turned
not to mention,
it over.
she can still hand over those bullets because
She did hand them over.
She can hand over those bullets because you in order to take that money, I'm sure she had to sign some confidentiality agreement where she wouldn't talk about nothing. But confidentiality agreements do not hold up in court when it comes to
Federal.
when you have a case of this magnitude, they can absolutely subpoena her and make her talk if they wanted to.
Yeah. So, man, I tell you, it's.
It makes you glad that you're not a part of that.
You know what?
It makes you
So
glad
many
that you're
people-
not a part of that organization.
Yeah. So people wish they were P. Diddy. I bet they don't wish they was him today.
Not today. Not today.
Or
Wish they have
tomorrow.
gotten an invite.
Yes.
And this case is so packed based off what the DA said. So now they found some weapons outside of the 30 bottles, 100 bottles of baby oil. They found weapons.
1,000.
1,000, yeah.
Baby oil.
They found weapons with the serial numbers scratched off. Those could have been used in crimes. Because the only time you do that is when you're committing a crime.
Mm-hmm. That's right. Those alone, those charges alone rack up big time. I mean, if that's all they had on him, that alone could send him away for a while. Just scratching off the serial numbers on a gun. That'll get you going. That'll definitely get you going. That's what, 20 years apiece for each count?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's getting bad for him. So listen, y'all, we wanted to come up here and talk about this P. Diddy situation. And no, we're not going to build our podcast on this. Like it was relevant to have this conversation today concerning, the fall of this bad boy, because bad boy has fallen, and I feel bad for his children. I mean, when a man have a daughter, he thinks different. P. Diddy didn't. I mean, you got daughters. Would you want somebody doing that to your daughters?
No.
Like,
not at all.
Absolutely not.
Not at all.
How are they exempt from your behavior? And how are you protecting them from you? How are you protecting them from you? Because if you do that, you'll do some unthinkable.
That's right, man.
Even to your own.
And me and Lamar, we just wanted to talk about this just so we could bring up the situation is we can't be following behind the glitter and the glam of these individuals, because a lot of these individuals are morally bankrupt. They don't care about nobody but themselves. And what we're seeing right now, that they're monsters. I mean, this individual, if he is guilty of everything that the DA says, this man was the worst of the worst. I mean, this man was an absolute predator, absolute monster. I mean, these are the kind of individuals that the society does not need. We do not need these kind of men running around in society.
They cannot afford to be on the streets.
We don't need for them to have the resources at their fingertips to do whatever it is they feel like they want to do. And I'm just pleading to all these young people out there. I'm pleading with all the people like us, like me, Lamar, Cornelius, who grew up with Bad Boys. We were influenced by their music. We grew up listening to all his music. We enjoy their music. And I'm pleading with everybody out there to just let it play out. Listen to what happened. Don't immediately think just because he's P. Diddy and he's part of one of the greatest record companies this world has ever seen. Let it play out, because there could be a lot of victims out there that need a lot of help. A lot of victims out there that have been absolutely demoralized. A lot of victims out there that we may have lost along the way to suicide over these ordeals. A lot of victims that may never be right again if everything that we have heard from the DA is true. So let's just be mindful of all that. Let's let this thing play out. Let's listen to it. Let's and if
be
he's
sensitive.
guilty, and be sensitive to it as well, man. Be sensitive.
Yeah, because more than just his life is over, his children are losing a parent, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, this is,
dude. They're losing their inheritance.
His legacy is falling.
They're losing their legacy.
Yeah.
If it all comes crashing down, they're losing everything, man.
It's crazy. It is. It's senseless. And you know what, Sean? When you can buy anything you want, you get bored, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, now, I'm not in his head. Maybe he just got bored and said, you know what? I need to do something that you can't buy. It's something you have to take. And the trauma of these young women that was a part of this 10-year freak off, it's no telling what they dealing with psychologically, emotionally, physically, even the men. Listen, he was making men sleep with men, women with women. This was hell in a hotel room.
Yes, it was. Yes,
and you could have been doing something else.
That's right.
But I
Lives
bet you
have been ruined.
I bet you he regretted today.
I don't know. I don't know.
He regrets it. Because here's the thing. Now I'm gonna get deep.
Regret doesn't show up until you've hit rock bottom. And he's not quite there yet.
Where he's at right now, Sean, I'm telling you, he's regretting it. If for the last 20 years you've been living the best life you ever dreamed about, and now you in a cell, federal detention center, one of the worst federal detention centers in the United States, and your name is P. Diddy.
Okay.
And you know he's known there in the jail.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Like, who doesn't know P. Diddy?
But check this out. All of the workers, right? All of the staff, his management. I mean, so many people are going to be implicated in this whole. I'm gonna give a word.
What was that, man?
And this.
Okay.
Yep. In this.
Listen to me. They going to jail.
Yep.
And the person who hides it get more time than the rest. It's gonna be bad. People gonna be singing like Patti LaBelle. Oh, if
Could very well
only
be.
you knew.
Good baby.
They're gonna be singing that song behind bars.
They'll be trying to find the midnight train to Georgia.
Find a midnight train to heaven.
Right.
But listen, like I said, we just wanted to, talk about this situation with P. Diddy. Listen, we ask y'all to subscribe to our channel. We're going to be bringing some great conversation. Tomorrow is our original show, and we're going to be talking about the social media dilemma, how cell phones and technology are not only affecting our lives and our brains mentally, but our relationships. Listen, I'm dealing with some phone addiction. I need some help. I'm going to go to some AA meetings, and I'm going to have a flashlight and say, my name's Lamar Blakeney. I'm addicted to my cell phone. And I know my wife is turning over right now laughing, because that's how she say, are you thinking about it, your cell phone?
That's what she says.
And all she think about is a TV show. I said it.
It's still a device.
It's still a device. Anything y'all want to say before we check out?
Yeah, man. Everybody,
Man, y'all come
just
back
tune in tomorrow. Yeah, tune in tomorrow on YouTube at Mind Changer Podcast. That's Mind Changer Podcast. Like Lamar said, that is our normal night. We just wanted to bring you this bonus episode tonight because we felt like this needed to be talked about because there were some situations about this that we needed to really approach.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So until next time, listen, we want y'all guys to keep your heads in the sky.
We told y'all we came to expose the lies and reveal the truth. We told y'all we bring in biblical principles of factual truth. We told y'all we came to expose the lies and reveal